Okay, as promised, we're going to dive a little bit deeper on the subject of alcohol. Um, they say you're not supposed to have it. Well, okay, there's more to it than that. First of all, you can't have any alcohol consumption within 8 hours. So they call that the bottle to throttle rule. So from the time you sipped your last alcohol or had it in your mouth until you take the helm of an aircraft control station, you should not have had any alcohol in that previous 8 hours. Um, you can also be under the influence. We're going to talk about the blood alcohol content, but that doesn't even really matter. If you're a person that's affected, if you're what they call a lightweight, and you've just drank a sip of alcohol, and the way your body reacts to it is that you feel somewhat dizzy already or affected at all, then you are under the influence of alcohol. Also, the next morning when you're feeling that headache or that nausea, that's also considered influence because it's influencing your body. It's making you feel maybe groggy or your eyes are feeling like they want to pop out of your head, those types of things. If you had a lot of alcohol, it may be several hours. It may be even more than 8 hours. It could be 12, 15, even 24 hours for some people to fully metabolize a large amount of alcohol and to be ready to be able to fly. So you do not want to be under the influence in any way, shape, or form. The blood alcohol content for flying an aircraft is 0.04. That's federally, so that's no matter where you're at. Here in the state of Florida, if you're driving a car, you can be found guilty of DUI if you're at 0.08, and that's twice the limit for aerospace and aviation. Um, they figure zero point 0.8 is about one drink per hour is what your body can metabolize and stay at or below zero point 0.8. So you can see 0.4 is going to be half that. That would be half of a beer. Should put you at or above zero point 0.4 for an average sized human being. But this all it depends because you might be at a 0.3 and still be under the influence. You could be at a point 5 and not be under the influence. It's not really affecting you. There's some people where they can drink 2 or 3 drinks before they even start to feel it. But you could be at a 0.5, not be under the influence, but yet still have a blood alcohol content of 0.4 and above. Even if you're feeling it or not, it's still illegal. And the last thing we want to talk about here is using drugs of any type that affect your mental or physical capabilities. This can be over-the-counter drugs. A lot of times, people will take, simple medications that make them feel groggy or edgy. For me, it's this one nose spray that clears my nasal passages very well so that I can sleep or, go around the day without a stuffed nose if I'm sick or feeling like that. But this particular nose spray makes me feel like I'm doing some kind of, crystal meth or something. I don't know. It makes me very edgy. It makes me very jittery. And I just wouldn't fly if I was feeling that way. So, I'm trying to think of some of the names of some of the drugs that, make people feel groggy and stuff. There's some things that antihistamines is one I was thinking about. You take certain antihistamines, they'll make you very groggy or tired. You wouldn't want to fly like that either. So, under the effect of any of these types of drugs, do not be caught dead flying. Let's kind of go over some physiology now. We want to talk about hyperventilation, heat stroke, hypothermia, stress, chronic stress, and fatigue. First of all, hyperventilation is a deep breathing or sometimes very rapid breathing due to emotional tension, anxieties, and fear. Um, the ways that you can fix this situation is to talk out loud. You've heard of the old breathing into a bag. It does actually work, so it can slow that down. And then, or breathing, slowly breathing. So, well, how do you do that? Honestly, you can tell yourself that you want to slow your breath. You can close your eyes, you can envision yourself slowing your breathing, and sometimes that will do it as well. The next one is heat stroke. Heat stroke is the inability of your body to control its temperature. This can really get out of hand and can be a serious situation. It's recognized by somebody or yourself being dehydrated. It can result in complete collapse. So, if this is the situation or scenario, you just want to be able to get somebody out of the way of the temperature, the heat. So, get them into some shade, get them seated, let them sip some cold drink. And I'd say sip because there are certain heat related situations where you don't want to be guzzling water that's cold or anything like that. So they tell you to sip some cold water and get out of the heat. Hypothermia is a medical emergency, a bona fide medical emergency. And this occurs when your body is losing heat faster than it can produce it. If your normal body temperature is 98.6 and you get down to 95 or below, it can cause you to be shivering. That's one of the indications. It can start making you clumsy, can give you slurred speech, confusion, low energy, discoloration of your skin, and possible loss of consciousness. So you want to be looking out for any of these signs. And then that would be a medical emergency. You'd want to get these people out of the cold, get them wrapped up in some blankets or something so that they can start heating up. If you have access to a air-controlled environment, such as the inside of a car or a building, I would suggest you get that person there as well. And then if it's to the point where they're showing these advanced stages, slurred speech, confusion, and that kind of stuff, or loss of consciousness, obviously you're going to call 911 for them. But they shouldn't be flying an aircraft at that point. Let's talk about stress. Stress is a state of mental and emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or demanding circumstances. Stress is ever present in aviation, but even more so for UAS pilots because we're on the ground and there's different stressors that manned pilots just don't even know about. We talked about those in an earlier video. So stress, the way you can avoid that is to exercise, get proper rest, get proper food. So if you're well fed and eating and exercising and all that kind of stuff, it helps you to be able to absorb more stress without it showing. But, if you've recently had a breakup or a fight with a friend, you're having problems at your job, any of those types of things, it might be a good idea to just take some time away from flying. And then there's chronic stress where it just continues on and on. This can cause insomnia, memory loss. The best way to get out of this is to get away from the stressors, keep being active, and even seek health care if possible for this long-term care. But you should not be flying. Keep yourself grounded until you're feeling right again. And the last thing we want to talk about is fatigue. We've spoken about this before. Goes hand in hand with the whole eating thing as well. You should be eating every 4 hours. You should be sleeping 8 hours for every 24. If you're fatigued This is one of the biggest things cited in pilot error for causing accidents. And this includes degraded attention, poor concentration, impaired coordination, decreased ability to communicate, obviously you shouldn't be flying an aircraft if you're experiencing any of these effects. We're going to go ahead and stop this video here. There'll be another video yet regarding safety, and be looking for that one coming next.